I ditched hair dye and went gray 6 years ago. And during those 6 years, I founded a website and several social media channels dedicated solely to the topic of gray hair. I have advised thousands of women all over the globe about their gray hair journey, and I've been interviewed by many major news publications about my experience. So today, I'm going to compress 6 years of my best gray hair advice into only 5 minutes so you can decide if going gray is right for you. What is the right age to go gray? Honestly, there is no right or wrong age to go gray. However, I can tell you that the biggest regret I hear from my readers is that they did not do this sooner. I dyed my own hair for almost 30 years, but if I had known how freeing it would be to be done with all that and how gorgeous and healthy my gray hair would be, I would have stopped dyeing the second I felt ready to go gray. Well, how do you know when you're ready to go gray? That's a great question because being ready will make your whole transition easier. A good way to find out if you're ready is to ask yourself questions like this. Are you sick and tired of spending all your money and time trying to hide your gray roots? Are you sick of the mental load of worrying about whether people can see your gray root? Is your hair damaged, dry, or dull? Does your dyed hair color still suit your complexion? Are you worried about the effect of all those chemicals on your health or on the environment? If you answered yes to any of those questions, or even if you just feel really excited about the idea of going gray, you're probably ready. How do you deal with your fears about going gray? Read and listen to other women who've done it. Read gray hair blogs like mine. Go on YouTube and watch gray hair videos like this. Join a Facebook gray hair support group and go on Instagram and look at all the photos of the lovely women on there who've gone gray from dyed hair. Or even better, take the quiz I've linked to in the video description box below. Any or all of those things should help give you the confidence you need to move forward. Okay, let's say you're ready to do this. Now what? Well, the first thing you should do is ask your friends what they think about your decision to go gray. No, that is absolutely the last thing you should do. If you ask them, you are opening yourself up for negative feedback, and that could derail your transition before you've even started. If you must tell your friends, just confidently declare your intention to go gray. Don't ask. Instead, the most important thing you can do when you're ready to transition is to research all the best ways to go gray and pick the one that best suits your temperament, your personality, and your budget. Think long and hard about whether or not you want to continue using chemicals during your transition. Do you want to cut your hair? Do you want to go gray quickly or slowly? I recently made a video all about the best ways to go gray. Make sure you watch that video later today. It lays out all the pros and cons of each method. That way you can move forward with your transition being confident that you've chosen the best method for you. The second most important thing you need to do is to make sure your stylist is on board. You do not want to end up with a stylist like mine. She made me feel terrible about my desire to go gray, and that delayed my transition by 2 years. Instead, find a stylist who makes you feel great about your decision to go gray, and even better, has some knowledge about how to care for gray hair. What will help you get through the transition the most? Being patient and having a sense of humor will help you when the going gets tough, and it probably will. Going gray is not a cakewalk. It can be a bit of an emotional and physical roller coaster. And you'll have good and bad hair days while you're going gray, just like you had good and bad hair days while you were dyeing your hair. But is it worth it? Yes. What is one of the biggest mistakes you can make while you're going gray? This one might be controversial, but if you have dark brunette or black hair, I would strongly advise you against getting highlights. The reason I say that is because I have seen countless women in my Facebook gray hair group and also women who've emailed me personally and said they regretted getting highlights because it damaged or discolored their hair and sent them all the way back to the beginning of their transition, so they lost all the progress they'd made. Generally, the women who have the best luck with highlights have lighter colored hair, they have healthy hair, or they have a very experienced stylist. If you're set on getting highlights, don't let me stop you. Some women have had great success with it, and other women have found that they were willing to risk the discoloration or the damage just to get through the transition. It's very subjective. Now here are 2 of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you. How can you predict what your gray hair will look like? You can't. Don't even try. It's not possible while you have even a smidgen of dyed hair on your head. Even a small amount of dye is going to throw off your perception of the color. Just trust the process and have faith that Mother Nature gave you your best natural hair color. That being said, what if you reach the end of your transition and you hate your natural hair color? Well, you have a few options. You could wait a few months and see if your natural hair color grows on you, or you could head straight back to the dye bottle and begin dyeing your hair again, or better yet, watch my next video, which will give you practical steps you can take to make sure that you love your naturally silver hair.